If you want to quit your job, you have to go through a transformation. In today's video, I'm going to give you the 5 changes that I made in my life that helped me leave my job in just 9 months after trying for over 2 decades. Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss another W2 Prison Break video. Okay, so let's get into today's video. Again, I'm going to give you the 5 steps that I took to transform my life and give me the runway to leave my job within 9 months. I was in corporate sales for 25 years. I worked for the same company for almost 18 years, and I was stuck. I felt stuck for so many years because I was a higher income earner and I created this lifestyle that the job had to support. So I felt I had to stay there. I felt I had no way out. And by making these 5 changes, I was able to really crush the 3 major blocks or fears that I had around leaving that job. And most people fall within these 3 categories when they're thinking about leaving their job. So their biggest fears or their blocks are going to revolve around money, their mindset, and their motivation, or what I like to refer to as your why. And this channel and this video and everything that we do here with our podcast, which, by the way, if you're not subscribed to the W2 Prison Break show, please definitely check that out. We air the episodes every single Wednesday and we post them on this channel. And then obviously you can listen to them on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you love to listen to your podcasts. It's all dedicated to help you crush those blocks and those fears. And today I'm going to talk about the 5 steps. So step number 1, stick with me to the end because the last one is really the most important. Okay. So step number 1 is your mindset. You have to have a shift in your mindset and overcoming the fear around leaving your job. And hey, what's going to happen to me if I don't have a steady paycheck, if I don't have benefits, if I don't have health insurance? Like, those are real concerns, and I get it. I understand it, but you have to start shifting the way that you think, because if you don't, you will be like me and you will be stuck in that, rat race. You'll be stuck running around that treadmill for years and years and years. So how do we start a mindset shift? I'm going to give you a resource. I'm going to leave it in the link below, and it's our 5-step guide to jumpstart your W2 prison break. It's a free download, and it's going to go over in more detail all of the steps that I'm talking about today. Okay, so a few ideas on how to transform your mindset and work on your mindset. Number 1, meditation. Huge for me in my life. And I want you to think about meditation as a practice, not something that you have to master, because you're never going to be able to master it. The idea of meditating for me was very daunting at first. It was like, how can I sit here for 15, 20, 30 minutes breathing and thinking about anything? Like it's the concept still makes me crazy today, but you can start small. Again, it's a practice. So start 5 or 10 minutes a day. I use this app called Calm, C-A-L-M. It's a really awesome app, and it guides you through the meditation. And they have a bunch of different ones that you can do. I would definitely start checking that out. Do it in the morning, do it in a quiet place. And again, don't take it too seriously. But if you do this over and over and really establish the practice, you're going to notice it in different areas of your life, how you react to certain situations. It's all going to change. It's going to be better. So definitely start a meditation practice and stick with it. After 30 days, you'll start to notice these changes. Okay, so the next thing that I would encourage you to do as it relates to your mindset is journaling. Journaling has been one of the major needle movers in my life over the last several years. I never used to journal before. I would type some here and there or do some writing, but I never took the time to write out my thoughts, to write out my ideas or how I was feeling. Gratitude, I put gratitude in my journal. So I would encourage you to get a journal and start writing. And you don't have to have an agenda. Just write out what's inside of you. Let it pour out of you, right? And you'll be amazed what comes out. It's been so huge for me, and just writing has been a really effective tool to help me change the way that I think and to almost use it as a therapy session in some cases. Like, you can write out what your goals are. You can write out what your ideal day looks like, what's your ideal month, your ideal year, your ideal life. And once you start scripting this stuff out, you'll start getting all these creative juices flowing and your mindset will shift. So definitely start journaling. Okay. The last thing revolved around mindset. The tip that I'm going to give you is visualization. This is something that is very, very valuable, but often ignored. Visualization is something that you can, like meditation, have a practice every single day for 30 seconds. Like your dreams deserve 30 seconds, don't they? You have dreams, you have goals. You need to visualize that and get very specific. So here's a tip that I do in the morning time. Again, when it's quiet, I close my eyes for 30 seconds and I visualize one of my big goals. I'll give you an example. I used to dream of becoming a millionaire. So I would literally close my eyes and I would visualize the 1 million in my bank account, like with all the zeros and what it would look like. I'm literally on my banking page and I'm seeing it. And then I'm attaching emotion to it. Like, how does this make me feel? And then I bring my family into it. Like, what's their reaction? How do they feel? Like, I'm thinking about how the money smells. I mean, this may seem ridiculous, but this definitely does help if you have to get specific as possible. So when you're visualizing your goals or your dreams, get very, very detailed, like the smells and the sounds. Who are you with? What are they doing? How do they feel? How do you feel? Get super specific with it and just have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. Okay, so the next thing that I did on my journey to leave my job in 9 months after trying for over 2 decades was I hired a coach. I got a mentor. I got people who were where I wanted to be and had been through it all, and they could help and coach me through it. I don't know what it is about coaching. When we get to a certain point in our life, we feel like we don't need it. We have coaches and mentors growing up. We have teachers. If we're playing on sports teams, we have coaches. We get finished with college, if you do go to college, and then you get into the corporate world, you get a W-2 job, and all of a sudden you got it. I'm good. I got it all figured out. You don't need help anymore. I made that mistake. I never had coaches. I never had mentors. And that's why I was stuck in the same place for 17 years. That's why I was in corporate for 25 years, because I never took the time to invest in myself. That is the absolute best investment that you can make, is in yourself. I spent tens of thousands of dollars, probably $100,000, trying different courses, trying different investments that I didn't gain the knowledge first. I had no coaching. I invested in the stock market. I tried to do affiliate marketing. I tried to do a blog. I mean, you name it. I could go on and on and on, all the different things that I tried to do without getting expert advice and having a coach where I could say, hey, this is what I want to do. How do I do this? Or this popped up. How do I do this? I decided before I got into my real estate business to hire a coach, because I did not want to repeat the past. And I really wanted to get out of my job because I was missing my son grow up. I was missing my family. I had a super high travel job. And I'm like, I'm going to do this the right way. I'm going to invest in Brian. Okay. And I invested a lot of money in a coach. And I can tell you that I have since realized over 10 times that investment in the growth of my business, how much real estate that I control, the other sources of income that I've developed, the people that I've met, and the opportunities that have come out of those introductions. I can't tell you enough how important investing in yourself is and how important having a coach is. Even to this day, years after meeting him, I still have a great relationship with him. We still talk continually and he still helps me. And it's just been tremendous. I cannot stress enough to find a coach and to find the right coach. And if you want some help with that, get in touch with me. I'll give you some advice as to how to do that. Okay, so the third step that I took, which is super important, and again, this goes back to money, is you got to get your money right. You have to get your money correct. I was spending too much money. I had a lot of debt. So we had to deal with that, right? We had to reduce our expenses. We had to get a handle on exactly what we needed to live on so that I could then go and feel comfortable about our business that we had started, our real estate business. Like we had gained some momentum in our business. We had gained some momentum in our real estate business. And now it was time to start thinking about leaving the job. Well, we got to the point, my wife and I, where we said, okay, look, we don't have to take any money out of the business for 12 months. And there's a few things that we did to help us feel much better about that. Number one is again, we reduced our expenses. Okay. We trimmed the fat. You got to do that in your life. All right. So we got really lean on our expenses, right? Not to the point where we were starving, but we just got really lean because we wanted to feel comfortable about potentially not having income flowing in every month. Because when you have a W-2 job, you have that steady paycheck. When you have a business, there might be some months where, you're not bringing in as much as you did with your W-2 job, but then you could have a month where you make more than you did your entire year for W-2. That's one of the beauties of being a business owner. And then we looked at multiple streams. We established multiple streams of income. I don't just have income from real estate. I have income from coaching. I'm an affiliate. There's a bunch of different ways you can make money. I loan money to people. I invest in apartment syndications. So that's really what helped us get into that frame of mind. We're like, okay, the money situation is solved. We're going to feel good about it and we're not going to sweat it because I worked on my mindset and we got the money right. So again, a couple things that I did that I want to share with you was I got control of my money in my 401k. So when I left my job, I had a very large sum of money and I transferred it into a solo 401k where I have access to the funds. I can borrow the funds if I need to, and I can invest in alternative assets, not all the Wall Street assets, mutual funds, the funds that I want to invest in. So if I want to buy real estate, I can buy real estate and earn a return. I can loan money to people. I can invest in crypto. You can invest in stocks. You have control over what you can invest. So that's something that I would look at is a solo 401k. I have a podcast that I did a long time ago where we talk about some of the alternative assets, and I'll leave that link in the description so that you can go ahead and check that out. Dividend paying whole life insurance. Let me repeat that. Dividend paying whole life insurance. This is a tool, a vehicle that most people don't know about. I'm not going to get into super detail here, but this is a way to create generational wealth for you and your family and really reduce your tax burden as well. So if you have life insurance, term life insurance like I do, this is like term life insurance on steroids. I hope I'm explaining that well, but this is another component that we use to pay off all of our debt. So we opened up these policies. They have a cash value that you can borrow from. And guess what? You don't have to go ask anybody. It's your money. You just borrow it. I think I had the money in like a day, paid off all of our debt. These policies have a death benefit. So again, you can, for you and your family, you can have that security. And then the policy grows in value over time when you keep making the premium payments, whether you do it on a monthly or a yearly basis. Again, I'm going to give you a link to a podcast that I did with Mark Willis. It's on this channel, and I would highly encourage you to watch that podcast because Mark talks about how he bought back his debt and was able to shred his student loan debt using these policies. So definitely look at that. It is a great way to build generational wealth. This is the Rockefellers had this stuff. All right. So talk to the richest person you know and ask if they have one of these policies. I would almost guarantee you they would tell you yes. Okay. So step 4, we're going to go back to journaling. This is really a step. I mentioned it in mindset, but journaling has really been critical for me, and it's going to be critical for you as well if you want to leave your job. So what I want you to do is grab a pen and write. You need to write. Don't type. Writing is way more effective. It's scientifically proven. So grab a pen, start writing. Okay. Write down your goals. Here's what I do every single day before I get to my desk. Whether you're in a W-2 job or not, you should be doing this. So I have a pad. It's right next to my desk, and I write down every single day the top 5 long-term goals that I want to meet. Okay. And by the way, a goal is simply just a wish if you're not writing it down. And they're your goals. So you don't have to be ashamed of them. Whatever it is, put it down. Even if you think it's unattainable, write it down and write it down every single day. Okay. Then the next thing you need to do is write down your top 3 to 5 needle movers. I like to keep it to 3 for that day that will get you to the long-term goal. So as an example, if your goal is to earn $1 million, if that's one of the five things that you're writing down every single day, then you need to write down a needle mover that's going to get you to that 1 million. Like, what do I have to do today? You have this big goal, the big tree that you're trying to chop down. How do you get to that incrementally on a daily basis? Okay. And then what you're doing is creating a series of small wins. And I did this. I wrote down, leave my job within 18 months. right? And I did it in 9 months, much sooner, but I had it written down. It was in front of me. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do today? I had a real estate business. And when I was just starting, I needed to talk to people. So one of the needle movers for me was I had to call sellers. So I would write down, hey, I've got to call 25 sellers today. And if I did that, it was always in front of me, check it off the list. And then all of a sudden you start hitting a bunch of days where you're hitting all those needle movers, then the big thing comes off the list and you have to make a new list of 3 to 5 long-term goals. It's an awesome feeling. So definitely start doing that. It's super helpful. I'll just show you my notepad here. I just have this little notepad here that I use right on my desk, okay? Which is from my old employer, by the way, which is kind of comical. All right, step number 5. This is the most important one. And I really, really want you to take all this in and take it seriously, because this is the thing that changed me, okay? And that's gratitude. You have to find a way to be happy now, to be grateful for what you have in your life right now. Even if you don't love everything about your life, you can't wake up every single day and have this feeling of, I got to go to work, or I hate my life, or I hate my relationship, or you can't do that. By the way, that's a decision. That's a choice. You don't have to choose that. Choose the opposite. Choose to be happy. I'm telling you, if you can't find a way, and I'm going to be harsh with you here, if you can't find a way to stop whining and making excuses and to be happy, you're never going to stop whining and making excuses and be happy when you have millions and millions of dollars in your bank account. Well, let me tell you, I promise you that. I promise that will be the case. You have to find a way to be grateful for what you have in your life right now. And this is where journaling comes into play. Like, let me give you an example of what I do on a daily basis when I wake up. Before I get out of bed, this takes 30 seconds. I show gratitude for being alive. Like, hey, thank you for this breath. Thank you for this life. Thank you for the opportunity I have today. Thank you for being able to get out of bed and walk on my own 2 feet. Thanks for my family, for my wife and my son. Thank you for this house that I live in. Like, that's my attitude when I get out of bed. I do that every single day. And then I do the same thing at nighttime. Before I go to bed, I actually have this rock that I got in Mexico. And I call it my magic rock. And I grab onto it and I just say, hey, this is the best part of my day. And I end the day on a good note. Like, thanks for this opportunity, or thanks for this, or thanks for this, for being able to go to my son's baseball game, or thanks for a great family dinner, or getting to go outside, or whatever it is. Instead of, hey, this terrible thing happened to me today. Guess what? Stuff's going to come at you in life, right? Even when you get everything you want, life's going to come at you. And that's why it's so important to have a gratitude practice and shift the way your mind thinks, because when stuff comes at you, it's just almost going to be like you expected it to happen, and now you know how to handle it. Okay, so daily gratitude is definitely the thing that really, really changed me and shifted my whole mindset, my whole attitude towards everything. Cannot stress it enough. That's something that you really, really need to look at. And you can practice gratitude in a number of different ways. The way that I just mentioned, you can write. Like, I have a gratitude journal where I just write out everything I'm grateful for. If you have a relationship in your life that's not going so well, maybe it's with your spouse, maybe it's with your partner, your best friend, or a parent, or whatever, and you're feeling like maybe they're the ones who are to blame, I want you to take your journal and write down everything that you love about that person. 50 things that you love about that person, or 50 things that you've learned. Guarantee you can do it. Okay, so those are the 5 steps that I took, the 5 changes that I took to leave my job in under 9 months. And it wasn't a lot. It was just making some minor shifts in my life and then sticking to them. I do these things on a daily basis, and you can do them too. And your path may be different. It may not be 9 months for you. It could be a year. It could be 6 months. It could be longer, but you got to start today. These things really, really helped me. If you find this video helpful, let me know in the comments below and share it with somebody who needs to hear it. It really does help us to keep the channel going and reach a lot more people. Thanks for visiting. Make it a great day.